So I figured I'd make a two-part series on what to do if a friend, a family member, or a loved one passes away. What are some of the steps that you can consider doing? And then what are some of the steps that need to be taken down the line? First and foremost, when someone passes away, it's never an easy situation. So you always want to give yourself time to grieve. And when you're ready, what you want to do then is to collect what you can as far as information from the person who passed away. The first couple of pieces of information that you want to collect would be the original will, if there is a will of that person, and a certified copy of the death certificate. Because the court is going to need both of those items if it has to be filed. There are laws that require things to be filed, but we're just talking in general now. Next, what you want to do is you probably should see if you can gather as much information about that person's assets. Now, it could be bank statements or statements of investments, but what you're looking to do at this point is just collect and summarize, if you can, what you're dealing with as far as assets are concerned. Now, remember, in past videos, which you can see in the description of this video, if you're watching Facebook, it'd be above, YouTube would be below. And I do discuss what someone's estate is composed of, the value of someone's estate is composed of. But if in general, once again, a person's estate is composed of both probate and non-probate assets. And what do I mean by that? Well, probate assets are basically anything that you hold in your name individually or as a tenant in common. In other words, without a right of survivorship. Those are the types of assets that are going to see a probate court and a judge. They're probate assets. Non-probate assets, on the other hand, are going to be those things that have a joint tenancy with the right of survivorship, or they're going to have beneficiaries listed, or they're going to be paid on death or transferred on death, like a bank account. Those are things that pass outside of the probate in general, unless there's some type of a challenge by members of the estate. So once again, back to what you need to do. So you're going to collect information about any non-probate assets. Those would be CDs, bank accounts with a joint membership or pay on death or transfer on death, money markets, IRAs, 401ks, other types of investments that are going to name beneficiaries on them. Now remember, if any of the beneficiaries on the investment accounts or the jointly held accounts pass away, then you may very well have to introduce that asset as part of a probate estate. Because if there's no beneficiary or nobody to claim it, right, nobody named to claim it down the line, then that's going to go into probate. It's at this time that you might want to consider, with real estate anyway, putting a value on that. You can actually visit many of the assessor's offices, the local assessor's offices, online and print up an assessor's card with a value on there. You can also engage a realtor to do a market analysis on the property, a written market analysis. And last but not least, if there's a question as to the value of a piece of real estate, you can always engage an appraiser and obtain a written appraisal for any real estate. Now, once again, remember, as you collect all of this documentation and all of this evidence to show what the estate is valued at, if you discover that there is no will, what happens next? Well, a person's estate doesn't automatically escheat, as they say, to the state. Once again, there has to be nobody left in the person's bloodline for an asset to actually go to the state. So there are laws of intestacies in every state that will dictate the way someone's assets are to be distributed if they pass away without a will. I can tell you, for instance, in Massachusetts, someone passes away without a will, the intestacy laws will look down the bloodline. They'll look for a spouse and children. If there's no spouse or children of the decedent, then the law will go back up the chain and look for parents. If there are no parents surviving at the time the person passes away, then it will go down to siblings and then to nieces and nephews. And in that way, the law laws of intestacy will look for someone in the bloodline to take the assets that are left by a person who passed away without a will. Now, once you're done gathering all this information and doing your homework as to trying to summarize what's going to be involved in the person's overall estate, then you're going to want to reach out to a family attorney, preferably one that does probate on a regular basis. And if that family attorney does not do probate, the hopes are that that attorney will refer you to another attorney that can assist you with filing the probate for the person that passed away. Now, once again, make sure that you check out the videos that I have included in the description of this video to provide further explanation to some of these concepts I'm talking about. If you're watching YouTube, it'll be below. If you're watching Facebook, it'll be above. Make sure that you subscribe in the lower right-hand corner if you're watching YouTube. We can use the subscribers. And also, some of my prior videos related to this one will be appearing here. Make sure you check those out as well, too. Dave Ceruolo, CeruoloLaw.com.